me walk you through it real quick while we're sitting here. Okay, the most important thing is just a basic, at least, understanding of the number system. Now, the number system is just what we use to call out chords that are going to happen. In some situations where you'll find this useful is if someone gives you songs to learn and they give you a chart, or for making your own charts. But if you get a chart here in Nashville, it's not going to say like E, A, B. It's going to say 1, 4, 5. So knowing what that is really important. And that's like step one of like, if you want to play some gigs, you got to know that. So what does that mean? Okay, in the key of E, here how many? Right? So 1, 4, 5. Let's talk about it and what does it mean. So those numbers come from the major scale, and they're each interval in the major scale. So if we play E major, and I'm playing that E major out of C shape there. So let's count it. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? So when it says 1, 4, 5, how do we figure out what the 1 is? Well, the 1's our first home base. The 1 is the key you're in. So if it's in E, the 1 is going to be E. It's the note you start on. Now let's say they say we want to go to the 4 chord. Well, how do you find the 4 chord if you don't know what that is? Well, you're going to play your E major scale up to number 4, right? So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I look. What note have I landed on when I get to 4? And I know that's an A note. So our 4 chord is going to be an A. Now there's also part of this that you need to know. It's so that, well, here, let me keep going on the path I'm going. So to find the number, right, what chord it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, you just count up. So we found 4 is A. Now if we're going to 5, 1, 4, 5, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What note is that? I know that's a B note. So our progression is E, A, B, right? Now, the other important thing to learn with this is what the major scale is harmonized. And it's just a pattern you've got to remember. And it's like the diatonic qualities of each of those chord, or each of those scale intervals, right? So each of those have a major or minor quality. One of them's half diminished. But you got to just commit this to memory. So I'll walk through it real quick. And then just know you've got to just learn this. This you just have to memorize, which isn't that hard. So 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is minor, I'm a little out of tune, 7 is half diminished, don't let that scare you, and back to 1. And we're pretty much going to not think about the 7 right now. I've never been on the bandstand in Nashville and someone call a natural 7 like that. So let's not worry about it. So, armed with that knowledge, if someone says 1, 4, 5, we found out that the sequence goes major, minor, minor, major. So 1, 2, 3, 4, we land on major, and we found out from playing our major scale 1, 2, 3, 4 that the A is major, so it's going to be major, and then major again for 5. So we found out our 5 is major. So if someone on the bandstand, song gets requested, you've never heard of it, they say it's a 1, 4, 5 in E, it's kind of a chicken picking groovy blues thing, just follow along. That's a real statement that you might be up on a cover set where you've learned a bunch of songs. The singer decides to take a request, you've never heard this song, the band. Someone in the band that does know the song, you say, hey, what's the progression real quick? It's like 1, 4, 5, it's a chicken picking kind of thing, just follow along. That's a very real example of something you might hear across the stage, and then the drummer goes 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, then he might be going, okay, 4 chord. I got an A. 4 chord. He's gonna go 5 chord. Keep on the 5, back to 1. ha, I did. I'm not trying to do that. You know, so that basic working knowledge of the 1-4-5, right? And that's a good place to start. It's just 1-4-5. Work on it in different keys. Try and do that in G. Try and practice it in E, in D, in A. Those are your most important keys to start it on: E, D, A, and G. No doubt. But anyways, that's a great question. I know that's a condensed version. I can do a like video that's a little more fleshed out of like me really teaching that. You know, but anyways, if there's one thing you got to learn before you start doing some gigs, it's just the basic working knowledge of that. Because you will be on a gig at some point. Because when you start doing gigs, most of the time they're cover gigs. And someone's going to call something you don't know, you know, and it's going to be a lot quicker to say the numbers, you know. Because what if they say, okay, the song is in E, it's 1-4-5, but let's play it in A flat. You know, it might take you a second to think, okay, it's A flat, then it's D flat, then it's E flat, you know, but it's still just 1-4-5, you know.